Hello there, Nadia from Training Mutts, bringing you good quality, easy to follow, step-by-step dog training guides and advice. Keep watching my videos and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Everybody wants a reliable recall. Everybody wants their dog to come to them. I know that I put in a lot of time and effort to getting my dog to recall back to me whenever I need them to. A reliable recall doesn't happen overnight. This takes a lot of time, effort, patience, and practice. Let me guide you through my tips and tricks for achieving a reliable recall with your dog. So what do we need to teach a reliable recall? Well, there's a number of components and I'm going to run through them one by one with you. And I may also direct you towards other videos that are currently on my YouTube channel to set you up for maximum success. Teaching your dog to look at you when you say its name is the first step in teaching your dog to come to you at the park. If you have trouble getting your dog to look at you when you say its name, you're going to struggle even more when you're trying to recall it at an off-leash dog park. You can teach your dog to love its name by teaching positive name recognition. Check out my video on how you teach your dog to love its name. Next, I want you to find out what motivates your dog. Is it treats, food, toys, pats, praise, or even you? Find that thing, the treat, the toy, the thing that your dog does backflips for and loves. You're probably watching this video and thinking, why are they playing tug of war? Isn't this something that they're practicing their retrieve from? The dog is retrieving an item and coming back. But the thing is this, retrieve and tug of war are two of Mala's very favourite things, so why not use it to my advantage to get her to come back to me? Make sure you're training with your dog in an area with minimal distraction to begin with to really cement the action of them returning to you by the cue word or the signal that you give them. Having the right timing for when you call your dog is vital in getting them to listen to their name and return to you. You should watch your dog's body language at all different times. When they're happy, when they're engaging with the other dogs, or when they're engaging with the environment. Also, when they're actually tuned into you. Their body language is going to give you the biggest clue as to when you should call their name to get their attention and to get them to come running back to you. So based on what I've told you already, which video do you think you would get a reliable, nice recall from your dog? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? In this instance, 1 would be my choice. The others require less distraction so that you can wait for the moment there is a break in the play or interaction with what they're doing, or also to remove the massive distraction of the hose so that you can set yourself up for maximum success so that the dog hears its name, acknowledges you, and comes running towards you. You'll need to condition your dog to a word such as yes or good, or the sound of a click from a clicker, so that they associate this tool with getting a reward from you every time they have done the correct thing. I also like to install a gotcha or collar grab with my dog. This teaches them that each time I grab onto their collar and say gotcha, they get a reward and then I release them again. Reward and release is vital to recall because you're not always calling your dog over and removing them from an area, but you're rewarding them and releasing them. Check out my video on how you teach gotcha if you'd like to learn more. Let's have a look at the equipment that we're going to use. I suggest that you get yourself a nice flat lead, so with no bells and whistles on it, nothing that can hurt your hands. I also suggest that you get a longer lead, so it allows your dog to have some meterage away from you to practice your recall. That being said, retractable leads to me are a massive no. They are quite dangerous if they wrap around your leg or your finger. I've seen some serious injuries. They can also cause injury to your dog if the mechanism fails. I also like to train with snuffle mats and kongs. So as you can see, there is a lot to unpack to be able to get a nice, reliable recall. Your dog must love its name and respond to it. You need to find that high-value treat or reward and figure out what truly motivates your dog. For maximum recall success, you must train with minimal distractions to really cement the action and cue for your dog. Watching your dog and getting to know their body language signals will be key in success for this. Your dog should understand the word yes, good, or the clicker sound to understand it has done the right thing and a reward is coming its way. Collar grabs set your dog up for reward and release. And of course, having the correct equipment. Start your recall training at home. Having your dog wanting to be near you or to follow you or to be with you is a really important step once you then start to add some extra distractions. Practice walking away and adding movement. Change direction. Say your dog's name and call them when they're moving towards you. Use a nice happy tone or voice calling them and always give them a treat. If your dog offers to come to you without being asked, reward them for it with a treat and with lots and lots of encouragement. Once your dog thinks that you're pretty cool and responds to its name nicely, start to add some distraction. I like to use a snuffle mat. I put low value treats in the snuffle mat, and on me, I have high value. I get the dog nicely distracted with the snuffle mat, walk away from it, and then I call the dog and get it to come to me, rewarding it with nice high value treats, pats, and praise. There needs to be something in it for the dog for it to stop doing what it's doing and to come back to you. This is why it's really important that we are rewarding and releasing the dog again on numerous occasions. I also like to use a Kong with my dog so that I have a nice, quick and fast reinforcer. You can utilize the Kong as a lure or just as an instant reward that your dog is running for. You'll notice in this video that I add movement to encourage my dog to come towards me. Standing still is pretty boring for a dog. So if you're always standing somewhere and calling it and then not moving or not doing anything extra to entice the dog to come towards you, trust me, it's not going to bother coming towards you. It's going to keep doing whatever it was doing to start off with. You can also call your dog and shuffle backwards so that it follows you. So say your dog's name, then say come. When your dog gets to you, mark it with your good or your yes and give your dog a reward. When working outside, you should keep your dog on a lead. That way you still have effective control of your dog and it won't run off on you. Again, I recommend moving backwards from your dog or moving around, getting them distracted, calling their name and getting them to respond and come back to you. Long leads are a great way to teach your dog recall. That way they can add extra space and distance from you and you have an opportunity to recall them whilst they're still actually under effective control. To set yourself up for success, make sure when you begin with, you're only giving your dog a little bit of extra lead. If you let them go too far, then you're going to need to reel them back in like they're a fish. In this video, you can see that I'm walking backwards a little bit from the dog and then I reinforce the dog by throwing the treats into the grass. This encourages the dog to be close to me as it's being rewarded right at my feet. So it stays there longer, sniffing with me. Remember, you must always set you and your dog up for success by being able to distinguish body language and when you think you are going to be able to recall your dog. When you recall your dog, I want you to heavily reinforce it, praise, pats, go crazy, get excited. Let the dog know that that's exactly the thing that you wanted them to do. Please remember that recall takes a lot of time, effort, and practice. The recalls that you've seen in the video with Mulla didn't happen overnight. There was many times where I almost wanted to leave her at the dog park because she wasn't responding to me. The way I then set myself up for better success was to train in the dog park in the mid-morning when there wasn't a lot of dogs about, so that I got maximum success for her returning to me. I want you to imagine that you are Kenny Rogers singing The Gambler when you're out practicing recall with your dog. You've got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. The reliability of your recall to begin with will depend on environmental factors and the amount of training that you put in with your dog.